Hello, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the Recovery Plug. What's happening, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good today. Thank you for joining in to the video podcast today. I really appreciate you guys watching. But before we get started with this video for today, if you would, please join me in a moment of silence, followed by the serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers. And for those of you still in the struggle, brother. All right, well, let's please, moment of silence. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. Alrighty. Well, let's get started. How's it going, everybody? I hope everybody's doing great today. You may be wondering, why am I sitting on the floor? Well, today I wanted to go over one of the meditation techniques that I do. And this really has helped me with dealing with the addiction, with the triggers, with just everything that I go through in life, like the feelings, the anxieties, the anger, the sadness, the depression, dealing with PTSDs, dealing with the craving of addiction, dealing with, thought processes, negatives and positive ones and that sort of thing, right? So, what I do is I meditate, and one of the meditating processes that I do, I do quite a few of them, but one that I do on the daily basis. This one's a repetitive one that I do every day, and sometimes I do it, 4 or 5 times a day. You know what I mean? Just depends how my day's going. If I start feeling anxiety, if I start feeling stressed or whatever, overwhelmed, or, I feel like I can't get out of bed, man, I start doing this, and it usually does the trick for me personally, you know what I mean? But I get into this meditative state and this, positive energy, if you will. But the meditative process that I do is called the Aum Meditation mantra is what it is, and Aum, it's A-U-M, and what that means is that Aum is it is supposedly the sound of the universe. So it's just like a universal sound, that this is what the sound that connects you to the divinity, connects you to the cosmos, connects you to your energy line, you know what I mean? It connects you to Mother Earth, man. This is the sound that they use. This is where the word amen in the Catholic and Christian religion comes from, and they the way it sounds, it's A-U-M, and when you do this meditative process, what you're doing is that you're inhaling, and I personally inhale through my nose and then out through my mouth, and I do this in a slow process and get as deep as I can. And you're supposed to get into a position, and I usually just cross my legs, and I'll get into a position where my spine is straight. My spine is like at a 90-degree angle from the floor, and I usually have my palms up. Sometimes I touch my fingers like this, and as I'm going through the mantra, I'll touch each one. But for me, this is just my preference. And you can have your hands up, you can put them down, whatever feels comfortable for you. And if you can't get into a position like this, you can always do it on a chair, but so long that your spinal cord is directly at straight up and down at a 90-degree angle with the rest of your body, then you're good. Because what this Om mantra chant, what it does, it's sending vibrations through your chakras, and supposedly it's where the spinal cord is, where it channels up from the gut all the way up to your brain, right? And this is where you awaken those chakras, and it gives you this connectedness to the universe, if you will, because when you're doing this sound, it's like you're magnetizing things into you, and you're drawing those energies to you, and you're exhaling them out into the universe. So whatever you're thinking during the mantra is what you're putting out into existence. And for me, when I do this, I meditate, and as I'm doing the Om sound, I am consciously thinking about things that I want, things that I'm my goals, my provisions, the things that I look to, that I want in my life, and I also do prayers as I'm doing it. And so I always do the Serenity Prayer and the Our Father prayer. Those are just my go-to prayers, and I use those as I'm doing it. I'm reciting those prayers in my mind as I'm doing the Om, you know what I mean? So that I take those prayers and say them out to existence, to my higher power, and so that I could be connected to that, and to the energies of Mother Earth and the cosmos and stuff, so that my karma and the things that I want in my life, they come, and they have been. So it's just a process of meditation that I've been doing in my life that has been helping me, and I wouldn't do it if it wasn't helping, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to make that clear. And you know, it's what's happening is that it's working on the mainly when you're doing this chant, it's hitting the three chakras that because when you're going with the first part of it, it's like that's the first part, and that part comes from your gut. When you say that part, you want to feel it down here. You want that sound to come from your gut, and what that is the Manipura chakra, and what that deals with is known to deal with the greed, deal with fear, that sort of thing. And then when you go from and then you start coming into that from the A to the U, when you do the part, it's the Anahata chakra, which it deals with, that's in your heart, and that deals with anger, jealousy, hatred, those types of feelings, right? So that's what you're trying to cleanse yourself from. You want your chakras to be clear and fluidful, so that the energies can just come and bring you what it is that you're thinking and putting out into existence, right? And the Visyadhuri chakra is the part that's up in this area, and what that deals with is a lot of the anxiety that people deal with of everyday life, and you know, those types of things, feelings and stuff. So this is cleansing you spiritually and mentally, you know what I mean? So it's basically giving you this perfect slate, if you will, to start your day off, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it. And also, as you're doing this, you can also use the Soham mantra while doing your breathing techniques. And Soham is this it's S-O, and then the hum is H-U-M. And this term is a Sanskrit term that means I am that. And then that's what it means. So you're when you do the so, you say the so when you're inhaling, and then the hum when you're exhaling, but you don't say it out loud. You don't say this mantra out loud. This one's one that you just say mentally in your head. So it's just like so, but it's silent. And so the one that you want to say out loud, because what you're doing when you're doing the Om mantra, which is the AUM, you're going and when you're doing this, you'll notice that when you start it, you feel the vibration in your gut, and then when you get to the U part, you'll feel it in your heart, And then when you do the last part with the M, you feel it all up in here, into your neck area and your brain. And this is vibration. So when you're doing that, what you're doing is you're sending this energy. You're sending that energy out. And that's what's getting the energies through your spinal cord, because that's your electrical charge, if you will, of your body. And once that's activated, then the energies of your body are activated. Now you're able to send out messages into the universe. You're sending your prayers, the things that you're asking for, and all of that kind of stuff. So, but you want to make sure that all of this stuff that you're mentally thinking and saying is with a positive attitude, with a positive note to it. You don't want anything negative going. But you got to be careful with that, because the mind tends to wander. You know what I mean? The mind will tend to wander during meditation. So anytime that you feel that you're starting to think about other things other than the positive things that you're asking for and praying about and mantra and saying the mantras and stuff, if you find your mind, drifting, come back. You know what I mean? Come back and pay attention to the sounds of the Om, and that normally kind of always gets me back in track, because I could feel the vibration. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do a little bit of it, and people, different people meditate it with different ways. So what I do is I'll do it anywhere between 3 to 10 times, and just depending. And during this, during my inhale, I like to kind of close one nostril and breathe in just with one, and then breathe just with one on the other side, and then both of them, so that I'm clearing everything, and I feel for me, the energy just feels better. You know what I mean? And people meditate different ways, but for me, that's it. And the thing is here is that you want to pay attention to the sound, the vibration, and the breathing technique. You don't want to shout these things in a soldier type of way. You know what I mean? In a cadence type of way. You don't want to go you don't want it. You don't want that. What you want is when you breathe in with your nostrils, and you're going to breathe out through your mouth, is where that comes out. So you go and you want it to prolong. The more it prolongs, the more the vibration is there, and the more energy that you're manifesting. You know what I mean? That's where it starts working, and for me, that's how it works. That works for me. And I usually do the chant anywhere between 3 to 10 times. Usually 10 times, but people do it up to 21 times. And I usually do my meditations for 30 minutes or so. So 10 times of doing the chant, and then doing my breathing techniques, and then doing the silent Soham chant, and at the same time doing my prayers, and then just mentally saying the things that I want to come into existence. I say those repetitively throughout the whole meditation, and they don't stop. And then I also, what I like to do is I like to get my hands together, and I'll rub them, putting pressure on them. And as I'm out inhaling, I'm rubbing, and as I'm exhaling, then I wash away. I do this, and then I'll bring in the rest of my body. I'll bring in the energy that comes with my body, and on the exhale, I take it out, so that I get all this bad energy that's on me. I get it off, and then I start sweeping the energy towards me after I exhale, and I can just feel it, and then I just bring it in, and I'll demonstrate here in a minute how I do it. So that's my version of the Om mantra meditation. So here we go. If you join me, and let's get started. And here we go. So. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through one nostril, out through your mouth. Here we go. So I concentrate on my breathing. think about all the things that I was chanting, all the things that I was bringing into existence, all the things that I want, all my goals, all my spiritual goals, all my intellectual goals, all my human goals. And I think as if I already got them all, because I do. And I cover my eyes because I could feel the warmth, energy of my hands. And it allows me to see the things that I want. And as I bring my hands off my eyes and open my eyes slowly, I come back to and realize that I'm back where I'm meditating, and I enjoy the view of everything around me, that I'm one with it all. It's such a serene feeling. I do this on a daily basis, and I do this throughout the day whenever I get into a situation where I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I feel anxiety, or if I am just wanting something to go right. Maybe I'm going to a meeting or going to the doctor and I want good results. Whatever it is, I just do this meditative process. And sometimes I'll do it, like I said, for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. You can do it as long as you want. Whatever feels good for you. But always make sure that you got your spinal cord in a straight line, so that you get the full effect of the energies that you're chanting, the prayers that you're chanting, the things that you're chanting to bring into existence all the good karma. Well, that's it. And thank you guys for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. And man, I hope this was helpful for somebody out there today. I just wanted to share one of the meditative processes that I do that keeps me motivated in my recovery and in my life and in my spirituality. And this is it's just awesome. I believe this is just an awesome practice. And this is one of those things that I've replaced in the negative aspects of the life that I had when I was in addiction. I now replace this with some of those negative things that I was doing, because, a lot of the things that I was doing in that world were all negative processes and thought processes. And so now I'm doing things like this that are positive. And I just wanted to share it with you guys, and maybe this helps somebody out. And I'm grateful that you guys were able to, take the time to listen to what I got to say, and hopefully that it helps somebody out there, because ultimately that's the goal, is to, bring as many people to this side of recovery and positivity and spirituality that we can. And the only way we can do this is by spreading the message to the addict who still suffers, and for those of you who are still in the struggle, no matter what kind of struggle it is that you're into, and that's keeping you bound down in your life, that is keeping you from progressing forward. And that's what we want to do here. This is the whole point of this, is to help as many people as we can to come to this side of recovery, positivity, and spirituality, because it's a great life. It's good to be alive today. I'm grateful that you guys were able to watch this video. I really am. And I guess if you would, please at this time, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment. Please hit that subscribe button. Know that when you do hit that subscribe button, you'll be helping out another veteran like myself, another person dealing with homelessness, PTSD, shocks from traumatic experiences, anger, depression, suicidal thoughts, all of those types of things, because I myself have been and dealt with all of those things. And so, yeah, I would greatly appreciate if you guys share my channel. So I guess until the next time, When the Smoke Clears, I am the Recovery Plug.